Hello there. Here we have the official practice question of the day for March 29th. And I really want to spend some time on this question because it's something that a lot of people struggle with. This is definitely a harder level question. I believe on the official guide page it was about 40% correct. So this is one that a lot of people are going to struggle with. And what I would suggest is go ahead and pause the recording and take a look at it. See what you would do, write down some stuff, try some things, and see sort of where you would go. So again, go ahead, pause the recording for a couple minutes or whatever it takes, and then we will take a look. All right, so welcome back. A lot of people probably sort of went into algebra mode, and that's what they want you to do. We have these fractions, a over b equals 3 and b over c equals 7, then a plus b over b plus c is equal to which of the following, blah, 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 blah. Just remember, there's a reason we learn algebra in, middle school, and we learn arithmetic in kindergarten. Arithmetic is easier. So if you can turn this into an arithmetic problem, you're going to be better off. And there's a pretty simple way to do that. We have an A, we have a B, we have a C. Let's just plug in some numbers. What if C was 7? Or sorry, what if B was 7? Well, that would make A 21, and that would make C 1, right? We need to keep all of these fractions up here true. And in this case, a over b is 3 and b over c is 7. All right, well now they're just asking us for a plus b over b plus c. Well, a plus b is 21 plus 7 over 7 plus 1. So now I just have this, pretty straightforward arithmetic to do. This is not, anything all that difficult. And I get 28 over 8. And that reduces down to 7/2, which is my answer, and I am done, done, done. Again, the main point of this question is they want us to take the mathy route. They want us to make things harder than they actually have to be. And the bottom line is, when I look at this information up here, one thing you can think to yourself is, this has to work no matter what the numbers are, as long as I follow whatever rules they give me. In this case, that a over b is 3 and b over c is 7. As long as I follow those rules, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. That's why we use algebra, so that we can describe things without knowing the specifics of the numbers. So if we sort of take a step back from that and say, well, if it has to work no matter what the numbers are, then why don't I just use numbers instead of manipulating the algebra? And that's a really good way to do a question like this. Again, look at every step we took. We wrote down the variables. We plugged in values for those. Now, yeah, I got some kind of nice values there because I have practiced this and it jumped out at me. But even if not, let's say that I say, well, I'll plug in 3 for b, because that seems like, a over b equals 3, so maybe if I plug in 3, that'll make my life easy. Well, that's fine. A ends up being 9. Now, c ends up being a little bit unfriendly. It ends up being, what, 3/7, I think? But that's fine. Who cares? You can still do this. You can still just plug this into your calculator, and you're going to get there just fine. So again, it doesn't matter what the numbers are that you plug in, as long as they meet these requirements. In fact, we can take what I just plugged in and complete it. We get 12 over, what is that? 24/7, it looks like. And again, if I put this into my calculator, or if I reduce it, what I'm going to get is 7/2. So as long as you follow their rules, you're always going to get the right answer. Again, bottom line, algebra is more complicated than arithmetic. That's why we don't go to the grocery store and ask for X bananas at Z cents. We ask for, half a dozen bananas at 50 cents. We use real numbers in real life. It's easier to deal with. So again, just something to remember here. Their hint: apply the following properties of proportions. A over b equals c over d is equivalent with blah, 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 blah. Again, sure, that would be nice if our algebra is super polished. But our algebra doesn't have to be super polished to get this question right. I don't usually show their explanations of the right answer, but I thought I would pull that up here as well. Even their explanation of the algebra here is pretty opaque. From a over b equals 3 is implied that a plus b over b equals 4. And then it looks almost like they're saying times 1. It's very strange how they're sort of putting this. They're actually not. They're just saying that's sort of the first thing. They're labeling that as number 1. But why not just say find a common denominator? Yes, this stuff is true, but your algebra has to be really well polished to be comfortable with this. Whereas doing it the way we did it, you don't need any real algebra skills at all. You need to add, subtract, multiply, divide. If you're doing more than that on this test, if you're doing more than adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, you're probably doing too much. All right, so that is what I wanted to take a look at for today. As always, if you have any questions, please drop me a line at aaron@passportprep.net. I'd love to hear from you and see what you're working on. And as always, good luck with the rest of your preparation.